I have never seen Swami so relaxed and saying, I have come to my place. You know, in that garden, there are mulberries, there is cherries, there is apples, there is apricots, everything in that. So Swami is going, those, but his hand was, he's picking up cherries. One day he went to the mulberry tree and I happened to come from the kitchen to my room. And he was all alone. Nobody behind him. So Swami is walking alone and he's standing under that mulberry tree. And those mulberries are hanging. Some are green, some are, little color. So Swami calls me and I come near him. He said, what is this? I said, Swami, this is a lovely fruit. Swami, try little bit, only this much. He looked at me. Then he picked up one fruit. He cut the fruit and put one portion in his mouth. After 1 second, he put that other portion also in his mouth. Then we took Swami to all the gardens, Shalamar, Nishad, something. Then there is Naseem and Nagin Lake. There Swami did the boating. The motorboat also Swami tried and the Shikara also Swami. Very nicely. So many Shikaras for all the boys and Swami's Shikara is right in the middle and everybody's singing. It was, I tell you, that trip can't describe what it was. I've never seen Swami. He was really Shiva. Really Shiva. Blessings and blessings and blessings.
Blessings, blessings, and blessings galore. That was the extraordinary saga of Bhagawan's visit to Kashmir in 1980. Blessings for the people of the valley, many of whom were seeing him for the first time. Blessings for the ancient seats of wisdom and worship. Blessings for the trees, the rivers, the mountains. Blessings for that sacred land. And blessings, of course, for the chosen few who had that rare privilege of traveling to Kashmir, the paradise on earth. Mr. Ramakrishna Reddy was one of those blessed souls.
And early morning, even though it's so cold, thousands of people used to come. And when the gates were opened at 7 o'clock by the security people of that place, and people used to rush inside saying, Baba, 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 darshan dev, darshan. Some people used to say it, and so Swami so lovingly and used to go to them, and it is, Sai Baba is going, Sai Baba, 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 they used to run. So everywhere that joy and see, it is just not possible to describe in that beautiful setup. I had seen from my childhood Swami, the love that he used to express and the way he used to move among the devotees and among the boys, impossible to compare.
So how did this historic journey to Kashmir happen? And how did Swami prepare all those who were part of it over days, over weeks, over decades? And when did Swami first reveal that he was indeed going to the crown of India, the state of Jammu and Kashmir? In fact, Swami visited Kashmir for the first time in 1957, and Professor Kasturi records that Swami's plane landed in Srinagar on August 2nd, and at that time, Swami stayed for 4 days in a houseboat and all the accompanying devotees stayed in neighboring boats. And Swami's party included merchants, musicians, professors, poets, writers, administrators, and so on. Together, they rode on horseback and went nearly 12 miles and went up to an altitude of 14,000 feet to visit Gulmarg and Kilanmarg. And Swami led the way, sitting on his horse, Raja. And throughout the trek, Swami enthralled the group with his wit, with his humor, and unending gifts. And Swami also engaged everyone in snowball fights. Swami would throw snowballs at them, and when the group members would get startled, Swami would laugh heartily. By the time this group returned to their houseboats, it was 10:30 in the night. Everyone was exhausted, but not Swami. Swami was still as fresh as a rose. With Swami, like always, every moment is revelatory. During this visit, Swami went to the home of the secretary of the travel agency who had arranged this tour. Placing a garland on the neck of the family's infant, Swami said, "This boy is going to become a great yogi." When the family members heard this, they were astonished because this is exactly what the priest who had done the horoscope of that little child had predicted. Swami simply smiled and looked at the family members and said, "You have already been told so, isn't it?" And then Swami waved his hand and created a beautiful gemset ring and placed it on the finger of that secretary. While he was there, someone asked Swami, "Babaji, when did you give up hearth and home?" With a smile, Swami replied, "How can I, whose home is this world, give up hearth and home? He is Jagannath, the one in whom is the universe, who is in the universe, and who is the universe." Odysseys such as these gave the devotees an opportunity to behold the supreme creator amidst his pristine creation. So it was all about the creator, his beautiful creation, and every moment filled with revelations.
Swami's 1957 visit to Kashmir was brief. In the 1960s, Mrs. Ratanlal was drawn to Bhagawan and was soon blessed with priceless opportunity of looking after his kitchen. Given her proximity and her love for Swami, her constant prayer was that Swami, please take us to Kashmir. She belonged to that region, and so she longed to take Swami to her place. Though Swami did not relent for many years, she never gave up hope. She even asked her brother-in-law, Mr. Sohan Lal, to make preliminary arrangements, including a suitable accommodation for Swami and his party. In the early 1980s, she told Swami, General Malhotra has a spacious bungalow that can accommodate 25 to 30 people. Swami immediately asked, "Is this the same Malhotra whose wife attended the summer course?" Indeed, Mrs. Prem Malhotra had attended the previous summer course in Brindavan, though her first darshan of Swami had been in 1973. The omniscient Lord's plan was now beginning to unfold step by step. In fact, Swami had been speaking about a Kashmir trip as early as 1970.
Actually, the thought of Kashmir, first I heard from Swami in 1970, maybe month of March, I could say. Then one day Swami said, "Hey boys, study well." Okay, I thought the whole thing was new. Syllabus was not much completed. You get first class, I'll take you all to Kashmir. That's how the first time I heard in the Vrindavan, in the old hostel. Then he said, "Wait, first class studies and also discipline and devotion. So all these three, the first class you people get, I will take you to Kashmir."
So when Swami mentioned that you secure first class and I'll take you to Kashmir, then there were some hopes in a few students that maybe they will get a chance to visit Kashmir with Swami. But the moment Swami added first class not only in studies but also in discipline and devotion, that's when all dreams crumbled, because rising up to Swami's expectations is no mean task. And everyone now thought that all this is just divine eyewash, and Swami told all of that only to enthuse them to study, and this trip is never going to materialize. After this, Swami did not mention anything about Kashmir for several years. And then, one Sunday morning in 1975, With a twinkle in his eye, Swami goes to the students and asks, "When are your exams?" And they say, "Swami, next week." Bhagwan smiles and says, "All those boys who secure only first class will go with me to Kashmir." And Swami said, "Arrangements are being made. We will go by plane and we will sing bhajans all the way." And as Swami walked away, Swami again looked at the boys and Swami kept repeating, "First class, Kashmir. First class, Kashmir." Yet, 1975 passed, and so did many years after 1975, but there was no mention of Kashmir, no news about Kashmir. For many, it remained an unfulfilled dream, it remained a cherished prayer, and almost an unattainable goal. And then, out of the blue, in May 1980, Swami calls a student and says, Get ready with warm clothing. We are going to Kashmir on June 1st. And then Swami told this boy, keep this news a secret. But when this boy came to the hostel, he found that everyone in the hostel already seemed to know about it. And from then on, days flew by in thunderous speed, and the morning of June 1st, 1980 arrived. Before departure, Swami called all the chosen ones, and Swami started counting the members of the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17. Swami stopped at 17, and Swami said, 17 plus myself, 18. Swami said, see, we are 18. The Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 is divine. Very good, Swami said. The long-awaited promise was finally being fulfilled in his own enigmatic style. When the aircraft finally lifted off on June 1st, every member of the group could scarcely believe that the moment had finally arrived. And in the skies began the divine outpouring of Bhagwan's love.
When the flight took off in Hyderabad, I suddenly started developing nausea sensation. So I had to go to the restroom, and one of my brothers who was sitting next to me took me along. And then when I returned back, Swami was watching me. Swami was sitting at the aisle seat just across my row. And Swami smiled at me and asked me, is it the first time for you? I said, yes, Swami. Then Swami opened his pawn box and then gave me one piece of glove and asked me to put it in the mouth. And that was the end of it. And immediately within few seconds, my all sensations vanished, and I was totally okay at the end of the trip.
So the ever-concerned Swami gave clothes to the students who had never flown before and who were feeling giddy. But the cascade of love was for all the passengers who were thrilled beyond imagination. They never knew that they would be so lucky that they would be flying along with Swami. So all these passengers, they were coming one by one. They wanted to take Bhagwan's Padnamaskaram. So the airplane staff had to do crowd control.
At particular altitude, Kashmir experience started in the flight itself by people rushing in, and here everybody started getting up. Swami said, Kuchandi, Kuchandi, Kuchandi. So one by one, for some time, Vaisudhaiva Kutumbakam, everybody belongs to them. It's not that only 18 people of us. Everybody belong to him. And they're saying, inquiring about their children and their parents, and also where are they going and all that.
The air hostesses, they were standing in Bhagwan's presence. They did not want to leave Swami's presence. Swami told them, go and serve all the passengers food and beverages. And they were saying, Swami, when you are here, who wants to eat? Please allow us to stand here, Swami. Please don't send us away. That is how the scene was when Bhagwan was in this flight to Kashmir. Even when the plane had a brief stopover in Hyderabad, where the Sai devotees had made excellent arrangements for everyone's lunch, Swami had no time for himself. Hardly Swami put a spoonful or two in his mouth, and Swami went off to the area where all the devotees were passionately singing and they were praying for his darshan. When Swami reached Delhi, it was as if political history was being rewritten with a touch of love. Cabinet ministers, MPs from opposing parties, lawyers, leading industrialists, foreign dignitaries, all awaited for a few precious moments with Bhagawan. And Swami, the master diplomat, won every heart with his all-conquering love. On June 2nd, 1980, while Swami spent time visiting homes and gladdening hearts, Swami sent the group for sightseeing. And later on, Swami told everyone, tomorrow we will be going to Kashmir. It will be very cold there, so prepare accordingly, get up early and be ready.
On the morning of June 3rd, as Bhagwan flew from Delhi to Srinagar, the Indian Airlines flight made a brief halt at Chandigarh. Hundreds of devotees had gathered at the airport, singing bhajans and praying for a glimpse of that orange light. When Bhagwan graciously stepped out of the aircraft, cries of Jai, Jai, Jai filled the air. The devotees' childlike love and devotion moved everyone to tears. At 9 a.m., the aircraft landed at Jammu, where General Malhotra received Bhagwan. Overcome with devotion, he lay prostrate on the tarmac, while Swamiji lovingly blessed all those present. From Jammu, Bhagwan travelled by road to Udhampur. That evening, the entire town gathered on the lawns of the army gymkhana for a public meeting. After his inspiring discourse, Bhagwan led the bhajans, and the Jawans, the majors, the colonels, and the civilians alike forgot all rank and distinctions and sang together in one voice. What a memorable evening it must have been, because 23 years later, Bhagwan told General Malhotra, I was very happy at Udhampur.
On June 4th, the group finally set out for Srinagar, and along the way, something delightful happened. Swami was traveling in a car driven by Colonel Berry, followed by a bus carrying the students and other devotees. After some time, Swami stopped his car, and to everyone's joy, he stepped out of the car and boarded the bus instead. The journey was instantly transformed as he sang bhajans and pointed out the snow-covered peaks, the sparkling streams, the majestic pines, deodars, maple cedars. It was a symphony of nature with the divine himself as the guide. Yet, amid this enchanting journey, Swami was about to impart a profound lesson. And the opportunity came when the party halted for lunch at the picturesque hamlet of Verinag.
Swami said, see the company and see what is happening outside. Everybody is putting garlands to my car. And I am here with you people. Nobody is noticing me. This is what you mean by company. Finally, the Colonel Barry came out and he said, Swami is there in the bus. And everybody started rushing toward the bus and oh my God, it was mutual smiles. The door was open, not standing. So, Baba.
So that's the lesson from Swami on the power of good company. The car, because of its association with Swami, was receiving all the flowers and adoration and adulation. And then Swami had the door of the bus flung open, and now the village folk, their joy knew no bounds. From where the bus stopped to the place where they were to go to have their lunch, that entire stretch, everyone walked on a carpet of rose petals. Immersed in the joy of this unforgettable journey, when the group finally reached Srinagar, the Malhotras welcomed Swami with traditional honors. When Mrs. Prem Malhotra took Bhagwan upstairs and showed him his room, Swami's immediate question was, "Where are you staying?" And she said, "Swami, we have left the entire house for you. We are staying in a different place, 1 kilometer away." Swami said, "No, you also are going to stay in this same house." And that is how, for the next 12 days, the Malhotras were blessed with the priceless joy of his constant company. Very aptly, their house was named Prasad Villa. Every day, it overflowed with devotees yearning for the prasadam of Swami's darshan, sparshan, and sambhashan. Undeterred by the biting cold, devotees used to gather early in the morning. Army personnel, businessmen, hermits, the sick, the distressed, everyone, all experienced the grace and the boundless love of Swami.
Yeah, during our stay in Srinagar, the darshans in the mornings was a spectacular sight with so many devotees waiting since early morning for a glimpse of Swami's darshan. You know, Swami used to come on the veranda or open the window and look at them. Sometimes he'll come out. And it was such a moving sight every day. And in fact, on the day when we arrived in Prasad Villa, Swami straight walked into the Shamiana where people were doing bhajans since morning. And they were all in tears. And Swami neared the audience. Swami just turned towards us and said, "See, look at these people. See the devotion that these people have who are very far, far away from my physical presence. See, I wanted you all to see what devotion is like. That's why I brought you all here," he said. See, that is for us, it was a great revelation. And every day it was such a beautiful sight and very moving sight to see devotees waiting to have a glimpse of Swami.
Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of this visit is that everyone felt Swami is mine, Babaji is mine. And among them also were Rajesh Khanna and Asha Khanna from Delhi, who had worked tirelessly for weeks, quietly making every arrangement for Swami's stay at Prasad Villa.
Whenever he go to that hilltops, how he, with his hands, how I've come to my place, I've come to my place.
Thus, almost every morning after breakfast, Swami would stroll in the garden in complete leisure, plucking a berry here, touching a flower there, delighting in nature with childlike freedom. Soon the rest of the group would join him, seated in a circle on the lawn, as General Malhotra discussed the day's program with Swami, whether it is a visit to a nearby hill station, mountain, resort, or guest house.
From the day Swamiji arrived in Srinagar, his host repeatedly requested him to visit the famed Shalimar Gardens. Each time, Bhagawan declined, saying, "It's a beautifully maintained garden. If we go there, the crowds will damage it." The request continued until Bhagawan finally relented, agreeing to visit one early morning before the city awoke. At 7 a.m., Bhagawan and the students entered the celebrated garden. One student thought Swami said there would be crowds, but there was no one there except us. Even the watchman was asleep. And as the group quietly strolled through the garden, the watchman suddenly awoke. He was rubbing his eyes and he saw Bhagawan, and immediately he rushed to a rose bush, carefully plucked a spray with 3 roses, and he offered it at Bhagawan's lotus feet. And he prostrated before him. The students stood stunned. They had assumed the watchman knew nothing about Bhagawan. Instead, they found themselves witnessing the depth of his devotion. A little later, 2 carefree young men with long hair approached from the opposite direction. Seeing no sign of reverence, the students prepared to stop them. But to their amazement, the pair stepped aside, plucked 2 roses, and placed them at Swami's feet and fell full length in obeisance. That morning, every moment became a revelation, filled with surprise, devotion, and the quiet certainty that hearts everywhere can recognize the divine. Can we ever judge who is a devotee and who is not, who is new to Swami and who is not? His connection with everyone is beyond our limited minds. But it was not over yet. After walking barely 200 yards, the group heard a sudden commotion. Turning around, the students saw hundreds of people pouring in through the gates and even jumping the parapet walls. They hastily plucked flowers as they ran towards Bhagwan, crying, "Babaji, darshan dijiye, Babaji, darshan dijiye. Bhagwan, give us darshan." Swami turned to the boys and said, "Didn't I tell you? You didn't listen. Now, if the garden is spoiled, people will say Sai Baba is responsible." He immediately turned back and returned to Prasad Villa. Shalimar Bagh is often called the Garden of Love, but that morning the students witnessed the irresistible power of divine love. In fact, the Chief Minister of Jammu Kashmir had requested Bhagwan's permission to announce his presence in Srinagar. Bhagwan firmly declined, saying, "There are already thousands everywhere. Do you realize what will happen if this is broadcast?" Every outing with Swami left the students spellbound. Yet, what happened the very next day surpassed them all and was reminiscent of the golden days on the banks of River Chitravathi.
Dachigam is the most charming dale of Kashmir, a sylvan resort of rare beauty. On the morning of June 6th, after granting darshan, Swami proceeded towards this slice of unsullied nature. Once they reached the guest house, they were literally taken aback with that awesome scene. It was as if they were in the lap of nature. Mountains covered that building on all three sides. On one side, there was a tiny creek that flowed down, and roses. Roses were there everywhere in all hues and colors and sizes and shades. Yes, the house was very special, but Swami loved being outside. Swami cherished being in the midst of nature. Swami went and sat on a small chair placed under a china tree, and all the members of the group sat around Swami in that serene setting. Swami then looked at General Malhotra and asked, "Is there any sand nearby?" And the general said, "Swami, there is a little river that flows around here, and on the banks of that river, we will find a little sand." Swami said, "Okay, that's enough. Come, let's go. You know, in those days, I used to do wonders on the sands of Chitravathy. I will show you how. Let's go." When the group reached that spot, Swami sat on the sands, cross-legged, and like a little child, started playing with the sand. Everyone looked at Bhagwan excitedly. Swami took the sand and made a mound, and then Swami made it even. And then Swami poured more sand and made it flat again. Everyone was wondering what is going to come out of this divine Leela. Then Swami, with his little finger, started drawing something. He made a little sketch. And again, he took more sand and plastered that sketch with a fresh load of sand. And now, into that little mountain of sand that Swami had made, his hands dipped inside. And out came from this minuscule mound of sand, in a golden plate, beautiful and exquisite statues of Lord Narayana and Goddess Lakshmi. As everyone with big eyes and open mouths adored, watched, and worshipped that divine creation, Swami sat there with divine contentment, as calm as ever.
And there's my, with Swami, there is a picture. I'm carrying a little plate. Swami had his tiffin in that plate. And then suddenly he says, "Give me a plate, give me a plate." So I cleaned the plate and he put that Lakshmi Narayanji on that. I put the handkerchief and then.
So everybody started watching. Swami made the sand even and asked, "Avatarhood pen unda? Anybody is having a small pen here?" Somebody said they handed over, passed on a small ball pen, and Swami started drawing some circles and all. He pulled out a white, I think, looking like a marble, one big egg. Swami said, "See, this is Amarnath Lingam," Swami said. Shankaracharya, he installed this lingam. See, you people, when you go, you see only the ice lingam. Beneath the ice lingam, this type of lingam is there. But say, Amarnath is here close by, but 15, 20 kilometers. You can't go. Say, I brought it to you to show.
No one knew how to thank the Lord that day. Swami had manifested for them the Amarnath Lingam, a vision that they would find it difficult to behold even if they traveled all the way to Amarnath. And that is the reason why they simply gazed at Swami in silent awe and gratitude. It was one of the most unforgettable days of the trip. As General Malhotra says, it was in fact the best day of the entire Kashmir trip.
On June 7th, the group visited Gulmarg, the famed Valley of Flowers, and after spending some time amid its breathtaking beauty, they requested Swami to visit nearby Khilanmarg, renowned for its snowy peaks. But when they reached the ropeway station, the crowd gathered for Swami's darshan were so overwhelming that he could not step out of his car. Swami returned to Srinagar, but instructed the students to continue to Khilanmarg and enjoy its snowy peaks. The boys obeyed and became so absorbed in playing in the snow that they lost all the track of time. Meanwhile, Swami did not take his lunch until they returned, watching over them with the love of 1,000 mothers. The following day, Swami sent students to visit the famous Shankaracharya temple, while he remained occupied meeting the then Chief Minister Mr. Abdullah, Governor Mr. Jha, nearly 20 cabinet ministers and many other dignitaries.
And every day, all the Kashmir top, the chief minister, the governor, Jha's wife was a great devotee of Swami. Abdullah came 3 times. And Jha invited Swami. Jha used to come whenever there was public darshan. Jha and Jha's wife would come and have Swami's darshan. Lot of ministers, lot of business people and all that, Kashmiris, they all came. It used to be full.
While June 8th was for distinguished personalities, for the members of this group, there was something incredible awaiting on June 9th. On the scheduled day, they were taking a trip to Pahalgam, back then a pristine hill station known as the Village of Shepherds. It was abounding with pastures, meadows, and the gushing Lidar River.
To reach their guest house for lunch, the group had to cross a tiny rivulet. And this was such a memorable scene. Swami alighted from the car and he began to walk. The waters of this little river were so pure, so clear, you could not see even a grain of sand. It was only round and shiny pebbles on its floor. His Swami was on its bank, and next, Swami lifted his robe a little and gently got into the water. And Swami seemed to like it so much. Slowly and happily, shining and smiling, Swami moved. The sun from above was as if peeping to savor every second of that beautiful scene. Swami even took a palmful of water and showing it to everyone, Swami said, "See how clear it is." And then every member of the group, they had a sip or two of that water because for them, this was verily as sacred as Abhishekam Tirtham. And then as they moved along, they entered a garden of roses and Swami casually picked a tiny rose and instantly transformed it into a Shivalingam. After a while, Swami sat on a scenic spot on the banks of the Lidar River and more creations followed, a ring for General Malhotra and another one for a major in the army.
On that particular day, I remember one very interesting thing that took place. We were all sitting in the balcony overlooking the flooding Lidar River. Swami was sitting on the sofa and was doing some creations and all that. At the end of it, Swami said, "Let's all go down to the river bank." And there was a staircase going down to the river, and we all started walking down. And it so happened that, our Swami Karyananda, even though he was 90 plus, he had the dynamic energy to get down first on the steps, and then went straight away, walked to the river edge. And then there was a rock, and he stood on that rock. And Swami was walking behind. We were all coming down. Swami looked at us and said, "Keep quiet," and just keep quiet. He said, and just went behind him and then quietly caught hold of his robe. He just shook him a bit and then pulled him back. And in the moment, he was a bit, startled and shocked. He turned back. And as he turned back, he looked at Swami and he told Swami, as if nothing has happened, he told Swami, "Swami, I know it's you only who is doing this." And Swami immediately said, "No, don't bluff unnecessarily. I know you got scared." And then everybody were laughing, the whole crowd, all the devotees and some of us, all the students, we all broke into laughter. And Swami also laughed along with us. And he was in such a playful mood that, very rare to see Swami in that playful mood and, giving joy to all of us.
And now, Swami spotted a small patch of sand and settled down like he had done at Dachigam. When this happened, everyone's heart jumped with anticipation and excitement because who knows what wonders they were going to witness next.
Again, Swami was making the sand even, and drew a circle and poured sand and he pulled out. This time, not white lingam, and quite a good size black lingam. So we're wondering what it is, so black it is. Not a grain of sand was sticking to it. Swami said, "This is Chidambara lingam," Swami said. People say, only you can see the Nataraja, dancing Nataraja. But for the spiritual significance, Adi Shankaracharya installed one lingam beneath that statue. And this is the lingam, you can just see. It is not possible for you to see.
Yet the wonders of June 9th were not over. From the sands, Bhagawan next manifested a small pendant engraved with the sacred Sri Chakra. Imagine the deep significance of the Sri Chakra manifestation in a sacred town named Srinagar, or the city of Sri, famed for a shrine dedicated to the self-manifested or the Swayambhu Chakrishwar temple called Hari Parbat, which has an infinite number of Sri Chakras all over it. The session continued with more divine manifestations, each reflecting the profound spiritual heritage of Srinagar, Kashmir. Then came the quintessential Kashmir moment. Out of nowhere, busloads of people arrived rushing towards Bhagawan with the cries, "Babaji, Babaji." They fell at his feet seeking his blessings. And Swami showered his grace on each one with boundless compassion. Actually, a similar scene unfolded on June 10th, when the Shikara ride on the Dal Lake had been arranged. Once again, the crowds were so overwhelming that Bhagawan could not even step out of the car to board the boat. It was a moving testimony to the deep love the people of Kashmir had for him.
The days, June 11th and 12th, were devoted to those souls through whom the Kashmir trip had taken shape. Swami remained indoors, filling each day with the intimate moments, profound teachings on Vedanta and the Gayatri Mantra, loving gifts including a watch for General Malhotra. On one such occasion, Swami asked students to ask for a gift. None spoke. What more could they desire? Being chosen to accompany him was itself the greatest blessing. Many silently wondered if they deserved such grace. But such is the way of the Lord in the human form. He does not merely give, He pours out His blessings. And that is what exactly everyone experienced throughout the journey.
On 13th June afternoon, Swami took us to the Sindh River bank And it was a wonderful sight to see the Sindh River. And just along the banks, there was a apple orchard. Swami went inside. We all walked along with him. Swami was interestingly watching all the apples there. And then we came out, and then we moved towards another famous location called Manasbal Lake. It's a very big lake, and where very interesting thing happened there. Very peculiar thing that took place there. And as soon as we reached that place, within a short time, few moments, from nowhere, there were around 10 to 15 dogs. Very ferocious dogs came and they started barking. And Swami was inside the guest house, and Swami immediately walked out and then looked at the dogs. As soon as they saw Swami, that barking reduced a bit. And then Swami said, bring some food for them. And then he got some biscuits. And Swami threw biscuits to all the dogs. And all the dogs happily, caught hold of the biscuits as he was throwing, and then ate them. And then they became very quiet and wagging their tails. And they just walked away within few seconds. All of a sudden, the whole place became silent. And it was drizzling also. Therefore, we had to return soon. You see, that was the moment where we could see, it was as if that Swami has gone there to see the dogs, as if to give darshan to those beings, those animals. So Swami's trip to Kashmir was not only for the human beings, devotees and others, also for the flora and fauna, and as well as the animals too. That is the feeling that we got. So on the 13th, we had some wonderful moments with Swami. The last visit was at Manasbal Lake. As it was ending, we became suddenly aware that was the last day of our stay in Srinagar with Swami. And those so many days we stayed along with Swami, he gave us so much of joy, and it was very unbelievable that we could deserve that much of grace from Swami. And we didn't feel like, to return back, and we had to know, any good thing has to come to an end one day. And, that was a sad moment for all of us. And then we had to accept that, and then we returned back to Srinagar Prasad Villa.
The following morning, June 14th, when it was time for Bhagawan to depart, General Malhotra could scarcely bring himself to let Swami leave. Swami kept pleading, I have to go. Come on, it's getting late. Let me go. Till the very last moment, Swami continued to shower his love and blessings, his compassionate gaze resting on everyone.
June 14th, 1980. It was just before noon. A line of praying hearts waited silently along the road leading to Srinagar Airport's VIP departure. Incidentally, my family and I happened to be among them. 46 years later, I still remember the Mercedes just glide by us to allow us to fill our eyes with his darshan. Colonel Berry behind the wheel and General Malhotra seated in Bhagwan's car. As Bhagwan boarded the Indian Airlines flight, General Malhotra and Colonel Berry lay prostrate on the tarmac in heartfelt gratitude and devotion. The general remained at the airport for almost an hour thereafter, waiting to hear the news of Bhagwan's arrival in Delhi. After spending a day in Delhi and another in Mumbai, Bhagwan returned to Bangalore on June 17th, bringing to a close one of the most spiritually charged, scenic, and scintillating chapters in the Sri Sathya Sai saga.
For decades, the people of Kashmir have endured pain, trauma, and suffering. Perhaps this visit was to strengthen their hearts for the trials they would face, to sanctify the land and its sacred streams and the mountains, or to fulfill the longings of countless souls yearning for the divine. Perhaps it was to leave behind yet another timeless reminder of the transforming power of God's presence in human form, so that humanity may cherish such blessing and may use them to redeem their lives. We may never know, but what we do know is that Sri Sathya Sai is the very embodiment of truth, goodness, and beauty. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram.
Reliving his stories and glories is our Aradhana, a sadhana to feel him close to our hearts.